Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. First in, first out, that's the rule. And sure enough, we're going to be watching the Galzian, I guess, just in general, versus Just Carrier here. And these are the first games of Anomaly Cup number 1. I'm very excited to be able to be casting this. Let's go ahead and check our info document here. This is Cabel, who Just Carrier is fighting against. And he's made us a nice picture, as he always does. So yeah, he's going random both maps, it looks like, and Cable's going Galzian both times. And it's going to be College Teeth and the Boneyard. I don't think it is. Is it? No. No, I don't think it is. Uh-oh! No! Cable, you're on fire! Okay, he puts the healing on. Solves his carrier fever. Yeah, you gotta watch out, man. That carrier, it's always overheating in an Anomaly patch, so gotta put the fire out. Is he actually? I don't think I have a Cable. No, I don't have a nickname for him on Steam. Why you be lying to me, bro? The scanner! This is a really good play, by the way. Actually, I think it's even better if you put it on top of the salvagers here. So, the Galzian scanner is, like, ridiculously tanky. Just, you know, because of course it is. In an Anomaly patch, I wanna stress, this is not normal. But, yeah, if you put this thing down here, it can't be shot by the carrier. It's actually better if it can be. You want to put it on top of your opponent's salvagers because he'll do friendly fire with it. So you can see actually already, that did like 270 damage to Just Carrier's carrier. So, always some fun stuff you can do with these scanners. If you stick them on top of enemy salvagers, or like here you can see it's hurting the support cruiser, and you can actually do some damage to the enemy economy that way. And looks like we have long-range assault vehicle fabrication finished here. So, you know, you're used to seeing LAVs in sort of a close-range role, but they are in fact called long-range attack vehicles in this patch. As Just Carrier would always say, read the description, because it'll tell you exactly what they do. Like, notice there's an extra A in AAV here. That's on purpose. It's very much on purpose. And Cabel just kind of chilling out in the middle. Note that the artifact score is out of 9 on Anomaly Cup. We did that, I mean, frankly, mostly because I wanted to see carriers with like a giant amount of power. But, you know, also just because it's actually fairly easy to extract in the early game in an Anomaly patch. The base runner does, you know, ground attack on its own. And usually the base runner abilities are like insanely powerful. And so it's actually a little hard to stop those in the beginning. Yeah, macro build from Cabel while he's got his PC idle over here. Actually, it's 2 PC, which is interesting, but he doesn't have... Well, no, he's got assault ship tech, actually, but... Gonna get that refinery mode, or as it's called in this case, support mode. Because, it actually also gives them an option when you turn off that resource controller to boost their combat potential. Yeah, that's true. A little easier to kill BRs with other units, but still, you know, it's nice to have the artifact scoreline really high. By the way, we got a turret set down here. Turret's one of the few things in an Anomaly patch that's actually fairly similar to how it works in vanilla, I would say. You can see definitely different, but not massively different. You know, my original idea with the turret was, I mean, the anti-air turret naturally does anti-ground, because, like, what else would it do? And so I was like, well, let's have the ground turret do anti-air. But that was back in the early days of DOK modding when I was, like, stupid and didn't know how to do it, so I just gave up. I guess I never mentioned this probe, by the way, but look at the vision radius that this thing is giving. I mean, from Just Carrier's perspective, he can see the entire map. And that's just kind of how it goes. It's always nice to get a bit of anti-air and take those probes out. But even so, it's Cabel actually getting the upper hand on the opening stage of this game, as he has that second artifact. Well, I mean, I say that. He's going to be really behind on economy, but he is going to have the artifact lead. And it's gonna be assault cruisers. You love to see that. Highly mobile and effective against group targets. Facts, man. Facts. Yeah, you know, assault cruisers are pretty mobile for a cruiser in Jiraki, but like, you're gonna be amazed when you see these things hit the field. They're actually a lot like assault ships, I guess, you know? Made of paper, but really fast, and have quite a lot of damage output. And we do have based on our inventory teching as well, that's always fun to see. Perhaps he just wants a bit of defense there. The thing about these assault ships, though, is that, you know, they're being seen right now, and I mean, Cabel should be aware of this because he'd seen that probe before, but he doesn't necessarily know it. Paper is tanky compared to ACs. Yeah, well, basically. Speaking of paper. Turret takes a couple shots, but that doesn't really matter. You really don't want to run against the turrets with assault ships there. Actually, Sand Siegers, which is the Sand Skimmers of this patch, are pretty good against them if you can get up next to it, because it's stationary and they fire artillery, so you'll always hit them. But, oh, you want to watch out here? Nanomachines? Nanomachines? Come on, do it! Do it, Cabel, do it! Base for a heal is so powerful in Anomaly. No, he's not gonna press the button! Oh! Depression. Very sad, very sad. Nanomachines, son! So, normally base runner heals. I know, that's kind of a, you know, high-tech maneuvers right here. But, in Anomaly patch, it heals the base runner, but it hurts everything else that's around it, including friendly units, so you want to be very careful with that. But, it's actually, like, very powerful, so that would have been pretty cool to see him use. That right there is a logistics module, don't be alarmed. Naturally. And it looks like we have assault railguns coming out of the field. Now, I love assault railguns in Anomaly. I don't think they're really very good, but they're so much fun. I just can't stop myself from building them. Super long-range weapons platform, but it does, like, very, very little damage. And so you can see it's firing that far away. It can go further than that, too. You know, these things are insane. But you can also see just how much damage it was doing over there. Assault railguns are really nice if you can get like 10 of them and then have your army being supported by them, but this does not really constitute a mainline army. And the assault cruisers are gonna show us why, I think. Heal was used here, unlike in Jiraki and Vanilla, this does not immobilize the assault cruiser. And he has assault cruiser anti-air, which, you know, it's an Anomaly patch, so naturally it does anti-ground. What else would it do, really? Heavy railguns, though. These things are going to be a lot better against the assault cruisers. They're quite tanky, actually, which is, again, very different from Vanilla. And they do quite a lot of damage per shot, too. They don't have a very huge fire rate, though, but that can also be buffed with range calibration. Increasing sight and range for the cost of mobility. That's not what it does. Most of the tooltips are pretty accurate in this, but for some reason that one's not showing correctly. Yeah, Master Chief in the chat there, he is a big fan of the forklift operators, that's for sure. I don't know if you guys ever played Basement or Nothing. That's ancient at this point, but that was a patch that I made, gosh, back in like 2019, I think. And Basement or Nothing, you know, you only had basementers and salvagers to fight with, so, you know, it was pretty important to make it possible to actually do damage, and so I buffed the salvager death pack massively. And that's true for Anomaly as well, so, if you're ever in danger, just, you know, throw C4 with your forklift operators. And you can see Assault Railgun's getting to fire for free here, but you have to get vision with that, and these units here that are getting the vision are getting killed off because the Coalition players is ignoring line of sight here. Coalition in general in joke patches, or Anomaly patch, apologies, is very, very good for using indirect fire like that. You know, you don't need line of sight to fire support cruiser anti-air, quote-unquote, or assault cruiser anti-air, right? And as a result, you kind of don't want to take fights where you're like sort of dancing in and out. Maybe I want to fight him, maybe I don't, because every time you're going around the dunes, he's still shooting at you and you're not shooting at him. So that's always a little dangerous. Do have a bit of carrier power here from Cabel. Of course, he did extract 2, and he's got power 1, I can see. But more so of that for just carrier, who has gotten the mobility systems as well. Now, carrier's gonna start taking fire now. You really have to watch out for the undirect fire barrage, which is great name, great name. And that's why Cabel down to half health right away. But there is a Gaussian siege cruiser here, and this is a great unit. Very, very strong against assault cruisers, which have very little armor. And when they overcharge, they increase their armor, so that does make them a little bit tankier. But just in general, it's quite difficult for the assault cruisers to fight here. Then again, it is 4-on-1, so yeah, that'll happen. I take it all back. I take it all back. In general, though, that's going to be a good unit, so I'd be happy to see if he's making more of those. Vet 4 support. Yeah, Veterancy is pretty powerful on this, too. Oh, that's really good. Let's just hope he doesn't reach Captain Calliope, because you'll see why it's called that if he does. I'll just put it that way. You'll see why. No, you'll notice that this guy's firing and the other ones aren't, because he has more range on his missiles. So, see, like right there, he's able to get his shots out first, and there's the undirect fire barrage. Get out of there! Oh, he goes down. Youch! I hope for Cabel's sake. Come on, I always root for the underdog. Are you too late? No, not at all, not at all. This is game 1. And we have another series we're going to cast later as well. Oh shoot, does it? Oh. Yeah, we might be seeing a Captain Calliope in just a moment here. And again, you will know why. You will know why it is called that. He only needs 1,000 veterancy more. And again, you can see, like, these shots don't do a whole lot of damage, you know? It's just that there's a lot of them. He can fire over the rocks, he can fire over the dunes. He'll just keep getting hit by this guy, and you really don't want to let the Galaxy, or sorry, the Coalition player get away with that. Plus, he always has vision because it's a probe, too. There's another kill. He's 100 veterancy away from getting Captain Calliope. Ooh. And you don't want to see that. Base runner, get an extract here, just barely. Very nice, very nice. And you can see what that siege cruiser does. It's kind of like a giant sand skimmer, you know, which is nice because sand skimmers are kind of like mini siege cruisers. Oh boy, it's Captain Calliope time. Yeah. You see what I mean? He fires like 10 times as many shots now. Maybe his cooldown's gone up a little bit, but I think this more than compensates for that. Jeez. Well, we do have artillery cruisers coming out. Surprisingly, artillery cruisers actually do artillery in this patch, but they also do anti-air. They fire, like, Gaussian hypersonic missiles. Ow. Yeah, we still don't have EMP shell, but we do have range upgrade at least on these siege cruisers here. I should note they have a hold down ability, which will increase the... to bust? I think it means increase, but... It'll increase its weapon range, but it'll make it take less damage as well. Only problem, of course, is that it can't move while it's hold down. That might be nice to use here if you're just getting pummeled by siege, but I mean... The best thing to do would be to just get out of here and heal up for a little bit, but I mean, it's a little easier said than done, because just carrier will just follow you. Again, he has full vision of everything because of these probes here, and that's also causing a lot of problems. Indeed, indeed. Knowledge for the future. Now, assault railguns theoretically are a good answer to turrets because they outrange them, but they just don't do any damage. And I should also point out that now that this Coalition carrier has Power 5 in the repair, he can repair across the entire map. base satellite uplink to increase range, it says. So, you know, it's gonna be problems. It's gonna be problems. Also, these guys died? I didn't really see what happened to them. Yeah, the carrier is contributing repairs here, and the support cruisers are there. Oh, you know what? It must have been the artillery. I bet he used the precision strike. That would be the correct play. And we have a nuke coming out. You see that little ball there? Oh, you just barely see it on the top of the screen. Get away from that nuke, because when it lands, you will understand. I won't have to say anything else when that happens. Oh, where is this thing? Oh boy. Oh! Yeah, you never want to be in the path of the nuke. Suffice it to say. Carrier is stunned as well. That's what happens when you get hit by that giant EMP ball. And it looks like the assault cruisers are moving in for the kill now. And that, my friends, will be all she wrote for Cabel in this game number 1. Ah, Anomaly patch. What a joke! I love it. I love it. Let's jump into game 2 here and load that up. No surprise, of course, that Just Carrier is the favorite here. He's been playing Anomaly patch for a long time, and you just can't beat Just Carrier. Don't ever 1v1 him. He's not gonna like that I'm saying that, you know, but seriously though, he's so good at this. Guess what it is? It's always Coalition. You play random, you might as well just be queuing for Coalition. Cabel, Cabel, you've got a fever! Oh, barely catches that on time. Now, it used to be, in the days of yore, that your carrier would always take a bit of damage at the start of the game. That fever damage would happen a lot faster, but that's been readjusted a bit, because people usually don't like watching their carrier explode at the very start of the game. Indeed. Indeed. You know, there actually was once a time when, for Coalition and so on, if you were overheating, you were actually gaining health instead of losing it, which is pretty funny. But, that was changed when we realized that Coalition carriers were literally impossible to ever kill, so... Yeah, true. But, I mean, that's almost kind of what I liked about the old, you know, is that, like, the game would start and people are on fire and they're like, oh my gosh! What's happening? I always kind of enjoyed that. I remember some people who we introduced Anomaly patch 2 at the beginning would lose, like, half of their carrier health before they finally figured out how to stop it from burning to death. Ah, good times, good times. Well, we have Rift mode coming out right away, Sandskimmer Fab after that. Or Sand Siegers, as they are called in Anomaly. And again, good scanner, although I would like it even more on top of the eco here. Now, this is a tip that everyone should learn. Every faction has a way to open up the wrecks for free, and of course it costs 100 to fire a jetpack, so those are not exactly cheap. And for Coalition Saban, that's how you do it. You drop a logistics module on it. Actually, for Galzian, it's done with the base spinner. You drive over there and turn on the base spinner heal, and that'll pop the wreck open. So, you know, always nice to be able to do that for free. Coalition Saban, of course, sort of announcing to their opponent when they're moving up onto 2 base, because you can see that scanner land from in the fog of war. But that's okay. Everyone goes up to 2 base. Shouldn't be too surprised at it. And, Just Carrier, you're gonna leave the scanner alive for now. He can kill it later. Eventually he'll get support cruiser anti-air, probably, or anti-ground, that is. And that'll take it out eventually. Oh, yeah! Like, if you started over here and then, like, drive by, you can maybe catch the other one. Yeah. Point and laugh, guys! Point and laugh! He missed. That's never happened to me before, ever, by the way. And anyone who says otherwise is spreading propaganda. There we go. Well, obviously it isn't actually free to deploy the logistics modules, but I say it's for free because you're going to need them eventually anyway. Might as well do two things at once with them, right? And we do have the extraction from both sides coming out. It's going to be assault ships once again from Cabel. And Just Carrier once again getting up onto his 3 base a little bit faster. I always like to avoid bringing the carrier to this side on Boneyard because I feel like it can get stuck there quite a lot. But he did get missile ships first. Hey, look at that. I will say, by the way, there's a lot of hard counters to air in Anomaly patch. There's a lot of, you know, a lot of units that can just say like, yeah, air, you're not allowed to play anymore. But if you don't have anti-air, you instantly die. So, you know, it's always a good idea to get missile ships. And besides, they're quite useful actually in the ground attack as well. Base runners are pretty close to each other again. This is a perfect time for nano machines, son. There it is! There it is! And you can see the damage this is doing to this coalition base runner. Massive, massive damage right here. And Just Carrier will not be able to survive this fight. High ground, no high ground, doesn't matter. Nano machines, son, they do a lot. Heals the base runner, damages the enemy base runner, you know, can't ask for more. LAVs are gonna get involved here to try and kill off that base runner in the end. But Just Carriers will go down first. You can see him considering putting a turret down there, but I don't think he should do it. Because this guy's gonna die anyway. It's not exactly the best turret spot possible. Oh, and it killed the turret actually too, look at that, he put it down a little bit too late. Very sad, very sad. Feel. Hey, feel is Arabic for elephant. That's the name of this base runner. LAVs, however, should be able to kill the base runner as long as it doesn't have base runner heal, but that ability is actually pretty close to coming off cooldown here. Another scanner dropped down in the meantime. Base runner heal deployed, but no enemies close enough to be slapped by that one. And you can see long-range assault vehicles doing their thing. They do manage to kill off that base runner. Actually, a little bit narrow there. Nice play with the dunes by Cabel, but not quite going to be enough. And now he wants to answer the LAVs. And this is actually a little bit tough for Galzian. I feel like assault ships don't do it great because the LAVs outrange them. But then again, the assault ships are a lot faster than them, especially when they don't have that boost yet. Although we do see assault pack, or as it's called in Anomaly, insult pack, being finished now for the LAVs here. I would, however, recommend that you build something, and currently we're seeing nothing, so that does make me a little bit worried here for Cabel. It's a general rule in all RTS games that a lot of crap beats a little crap, you know, so... It's like the base is getting sieged here a little bit. Now, these missile ships are terrifying. If you haven't seen what they do... Actually, this was in the, whatchamacallit, this was in the trailer, briefly, but... They fire a EMP ability on the ground, which stuns and does a lot of damage to carriers in a giant area. And so you can see actually what Just Carrier's doing here. I love this, by the way, right? He sends one LAV, because like, what, are you going to use your EMP on one of me? But I can kill you. The problem is, though, you know, well, first off, it kills the missile ship, but second, your opponent doesn't actually lose those units, they just get stunned. So if you don't have any follow-up, these things are kind of an empty threat. You should have seen how these missile ships worked in version 1, man. I mean, they were not fun to fight against, I'll just put it that way. The other problem for Cabel is that if he uses his missile ships, like, in that sort of area, he's gonna stun all of his bases, too, and he'll do, like, half of his carrier's health. So, you don't ever want to do that. We do have smoked fish finishing, though. Long-range aerial fish. Smoked fish, of course, being the Galzian interceptors, and you'll see why we call them that in just a moment. It would be good if they would deploy here. Speaking of deploying, these salvages are not actually mining. Aha! Here they come! Smokefish inbound. Now the probe sees that, so the LAVs are gonna run for their lives. These things are pretty slow. It says that they have a higher speed than the LAVs, but you have to remember that the way that they move, they kind of wiggle around in the air, so it's not actually clear that they'll catch them. AVs are out too, or AAAVs, I guess I should say, because these are indeed anti-air units. So you want to watch out for that. Don't let the smokefish stray into the AV anti-air net. Oh, that's quite pretty looking. Anyway, however, if these things do get to fire their shots off, massive DPS from the smokefish. Plus, they can really disrupt ground attacks too, because of course, you know, they fire smoke. And you can see the damage it's doing to the AVs, but you can see the damage the AVs are doing to it as well. Almost kills that one too, but he is going to be able to get away. Looks like Smokefish armor was teched. That's the replacement for Afterburner here. So that's going to be good for Cabel. And I think he's got too many of them. Quite a lot of these in the hangar here, given that they're already sort of countered, but they will be able to supplement the ground armor pretty well, right? I mean, you also have to remember, as a lot of players don't, that now that your opponent has, you know, the air superiority here, you can't go anywhere that you don't have anti-air covering. So that really hampers their mobility quite a lot. Artillery, though, that's going to be the counter to that. Artillery is also anti-air, as I mentioned in the last game of this series, but it's very long range. Doesn't do as much damage, but it has a lot more range to it, so that should be really good for just carrier. See that firing right away here. As I said, less damage, but, you know, long range, right? It's gonna always force those smokefish to reconsider where they want to be. Yeah, it does look so sexy too, doesn't it? Oh. Looks like we have some assault ships out on the field now. Still no armor upgrades, which makes me a little nervous. And yeah, you can see, without those armor upgrades, the LAVs really do just shred them. If they get up into close range, though, the assault ships will shred the LAVs. So this is definitely an interesting fight, but like I said, it's pretty difficult to take. I don't like fighting this side of the matchup. Yeah, that's also true. It's like 20 LAVs. 23 to be exact. And of course, artillery gonna do damage to the ground as well, so you gotta watch out for that. Smokefish, though, are gonna get involved here. And you can see they do poison damage, right? They're spraying Agent Orange all over the enemy, so this guy's already dead, he just doesn't know it yet. This is turning into a bit of a tactical game here. Oh, don't stand there! Oh! I think the smokefish were trying to lead the target, so they ended up actually missing them. Yeah, you really want to boost out of this one. He's going to use that insult pack, but these guys are pretty low already. They need to get to a support cruiser, or I think they are just actually dead already. Oof. Looks like that guy's going to narrowly survive, but that was pretty close. And I gotta say, Cabel doing a pretty good job not losing these guys, too. You can see how low they all are, but he hasn't actually lost any yet. And the assault ships find these, the artillery cruisers. He's gonna back away. I think that really is a good fight for him to take. Most effective barrage ever. Okay, he's gonna land one shot there. That auto fire, by the way, for the artillery cruiser puts some dirt in your eye. Makes it very hard to see, so causes units to lose vision range, and I think they get slowed down too, if I'm not mistaken. Probably about time for those smokefish to go back home, though. They don't get slowed? Okay, so just vision range and accuracy, right? Yeah. Which can have some funny effects. Some units' accuracy really affects them a lot, some units it doesn't affect them at all. You get like one artillery cruiser against the Saban BC, it'll just never be able to do anything all game. It's very funny. Missile battery mortar does that same thing, by the way. Gonna kill off that assault ship though in the end. And missile batteries are kind of like the main battle tank of Anomaly patch. They are an anti-ground unit. They can't attack air at all. So you want to keep that in mind. Uh-oh! Smokefish are being seen at the carrier, which means they're getting shot at while they try to dock. But these assault ships are here, and this is a fight that they like. They're up in close range. Ah, okay, so maybe you need like 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, you can see these missile ships just being annoying, and again, they don't need line of sight, so they can shoot over dunes like this. We still don't have any armor upgrades, so these assault ships are really pretty paper thin. I don't think you win that fight even when you're, you know, actually able to shoot back. So you're gonna have to back away and lick his wounds off of that one, and that is a lot of missile batteries too. Here comes the barrage. Ow! That's fine, that's fine. Just casually half-healthing the enemy carrier. The unprecision barrage ability for the artillery cruisers is pretty luck-based, I would say. Sometimes you get a lot, sometimes you don't get much. That was a pretty average barrage, though. Their precision barrage ability only fires 1 rocket, but it's always going to land right at the spot that you fired it. It's pretty cool, I think, actually, by the way. Like, you really have to decide, okay, do I want to use more rockets and gamble, or do I want to use less rockets and, you know what I'm going to get? When I use them, I always gamble, and I always get burned for it, so... But this is a fight the Smokefish like. They are going to take fire to the artillery cruisers, but that's okay. They can do quite a lot of damage in the meantime. They kind of backed away, though. Only got 1 missile battery there, it looks like. Oh, production cruiser might even die here, too. Looks like it's going to be left alive, though. Yeah, I think, you know, you have so many of these guys, you ought to just go in there and trade, because you will kill all of these missile batteries here, and that would be really important for you. Moving out to kill this other group, yeah, you'll get him, but it's going to take so long. Anyway, he does finally arrive. Lots of Agent Orange getting sprayed down on the field here. You love to see it, you love to see it. I mean, that's beautiful, isn't it? But this carrier kind of hung out to dry, actually. Doesn't really have any health left. He's gonna start taking power 1. That's not bad. But all of those salvagers gonna fall. Uh-oh, and the Smokefish should run across the AVs here. But maybe it's the carrier they were targeting? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, he's actually doing tons of damage to just carrier. Whoa, hold up, hold up. But power up the healing! No, he's gonna die first! Oh, man! What an ending! He just came out of nowhere and sprayed Agent Orange all over that Coalition flight deck there. Almost gets it, actually. Wow. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Make that the thumbnail. I think this sums up Anomaly patch pretty well. Oh boy. Alright, well let's move on to the next series, but that was a great end to that one. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.